parents were very poor. They were young too. My mom was 21 and my father was 23. In 1977, they had my big brother Brian. When they left that for a small place, they bought a little 3-bedroom ranch house. After Brian was born, my mom went back to school to become a teacher. My dad, who worked as a welder at oil refineries, hard jobs that would last a month or sometimes 3, started to drink heavily, and before too long, that was taking its toll on the family. The way my mom tells it, a couple of years into the marriage, my grandfather Barney, my mom's dad, died in a car accident, and in the aftermath, my dad went on a bender, missing Brian's first birthday party. When Brian was a toddler, my father got drunk at a Christmas party and went AWOL. Do you know what that means? It means absent without leave on Christmas morning. That time my mother said she'd had enough. She went to stay with Lily. That March of 1980 she filed for divorce, but June's new wife begged her to take him back, and she did. For a while, apparently everything was calm. My dad stopped welding and started a construction business. Then, after a lot of struggle, he got a gym business going too. It was called Total Fitness, and it transformed some of the men in town, including my uncles, into bodybuilders. He ran it in a detached studio space on our property next door to the house. An endless string of muscular men streamed in and out of the gym, flexing their muscles in the mirrors under the fluorescent lights. My dad started doing really well. In our little town, he became one of the most well-off men. My family threw big backyard crawfish boils. They had crazy parties with dancing all night long. I've always assumed their secret ingredient for staying up all night was speed, since that was the drug of choice back then. My mom opened a daycare center with her sister, my Aunt Sandra. To cement their marriage, my parents had a second baby, me. I was born on December 2nd, 1981. My mother never missed an opportunity to recall that she was in excruciating labor with me for 21 hours. I love the women in my family. My Aunt Sandra, who already had 2 sons, had a surprise baby at 35, my cousin Laura Lynn. Just a few months apart, Laura Lynn and I were like twins, and we were best friends. Laura Lynn was always like a sister to me, and Sandra was a second mother. She was so proud of me and so encouraging, and even though my grandmother Jean was gone long before I was born, I was lucky enough to know her mother, my great-grandmother Lexi Pierce. Lexi was wicked beautiful, always made up with a white face and red lipstick. She was a badass, more and more so as she got older. I was told and had no trouble believing that she'd been married 7 times. 7! Obviously, she disliked her son-in-law June, but after her daughter Jean died, she stuck around and took care of my father and his siblings, and then her great-grandchildren too. Lexi and I were very close. My most vivid and joyful memories of being a little girl are of time spent with her. We'd have sleepovers, just the 2 of us. At night, we'd go through her makeup cabinet. In the morning, she would make me a huge breakfast. Her best friend, who lived next door, would come over to visit, and we'd listen to slow 1950s ballads from Lexi's record collection. During the day, Lexi and I would nap together. I loved nothing more than drifting off to sleep by her side, smelling her face powder and her perfume, listening as her breathing grew deeper and deep and regular. One day, Lexi and I went to rent a movie. As we drove away from the video rental place, she ran into another car, then got stuck in a hole. We couldn't get out. A tow truck had to come rescue us. That accident scared my mother. From then on, I wasn't allowed to hang out with my great-grandmother. It wasn't even a bad accident, I told my mother. I begged to see Lexi. She was my favorite person. No, I'm afraid she's getting senile, my mom said. It's not safe for you to be alone with her anymore. After that, I saw her at my house, but I couldn't get in the car with her or have sleepovers with her ever again. It was a huge loss for me. I didn't understand how being with someone I loved could be considered dangerous. At that age, my favorite thing to do besides spending time with Lexi was hiding in cabinets. It became a family joke. Where's Brittany now? At my aunt's house, I always disappeared. Everyone would mount a search for me. Just when they'd start to panic, they'd open a cabinet door and there I'd be. I must have wanted them to look for me. For years, that was my thing, to hide. Hiding was one way I got attention. I also loved dancing and singing. I sang in the choir of our church, and I took dance classes 3 nights a week and on Saturdays. Then I added gymnastics classes an hour away in Covington, Louisiana, or Covington. When it came to dancing and singing and acrobatics, I couldn't get enough. At career day in elementary school, I said I was going to be a lawyer, but neighbors and teachers started to say that I was Broadway bound, and eventually I embraced my identity as the Little Entertainer. I was 3 at my first dance recital and 4 when I sang my first solo, What Child Is This?, for a Christmas program at my mother's daycare. I wanted to hide, but I also wanted to be seen. Both things could be true. Crouched in the cool darkness of a cabinet, I felt so small I could disappear. But with everyone's eyes on me, I became something else, someone who could command a room in white tights, belting out a song. I felt like anything was possible. Thanks for listening.